Hi, welcome to the third in our series of Light Night special conversations with local makers from our locality in Merseyside. And today I'm really pleased to be chatting again to Emma Rogers. And Emma, hi, Emma's a really well-established, internationally regarded maker who works in ceramic and bronze sculptural work, and what I was really wanting to talk to you about today was your exciting new display that, when everybody sees this chat, will actually have opened at the Walker Art Gallery, Past, Present, Future, which has been curated by Nicola Scott, a curator in decorative arts at the Walker Art Gallery. And it's around a research project that Nicola, myself, and Colin Simpson at the Williamson Art Gallery in Birkenhead have been working on since the end of 2019, obviously disrupted by everything that's been going on for the past year. But during that time, whenever it was possible and safe to do so, we've been visiting the studios of makers, craft makers around the Northwest region to kind of get a sense of what is being made in studios in our region, in our locality. And you were really generous, Emma, last summer when we had a break in lockdown restrictions to host Nicola, Colin and myself, and gave us a tour of your studio, and also a fantastic workshop which gave us the opportunity to experience a sense of what you love and do with clay. So I just wondered if you'd tell us a little bit about the Walker and the work you've made for that display, and maybe the collaboration with Jacob Chan, who I also spoke to for this series too. So yeah, if you could just tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, so the case that we're in features Jacob Chan's work, Julia Carter Preston's, and myself. And we were looking for a way to combine them, so that they would complement each other in the show. And I've been visiting the Walker since I was a small child, and have like my favourite paintings that I still sort of go back to, almost like old friends when I pop in there. So it's a really lovely process to be involved in. One of the pieces that they actually own in their collection is a mother and child monkey. So they wanted that to be featured in it, along with some of Julia's vessels and tiles. And from various conversations and little walks around the gallery, we came up with the idea of the Lost Temple. So it would be a way of combining Jacob's and Julia's pieces, almost like offerings in a forgotten temple, with my wild animals invading it, as they often do, and making it their own space. We wanted it to be slightly playful, because I think we needed something quite positive this year, and something that would engage children as well as adults. So part of the response was that I did was based on the Milton. I really admire the Milton peacock upstairs in the Walker, which is also positioned right by the painting, which has inspired a lot of the theme, which is thought and life emerging from the tomb, which is pre-Raphaelite painting. So Jacob and I both responded to that, and knew that we'd seen a body of Julia's work that would be featured, and we knew that they would all complement each other as a response to that painting in particular, really. So Jacob has made a table, which is also an acknowledgement to one of the ceramic tables in the craft gallery. And then my bad peacock has sort of landed on it and taken over, and is sat on his table. But mine's there's a peacock in the painting, but also in the gallery next to it as well. So it was just an acknowledgement of that. And in the details of the tail of the peacock, I've looked at Julia's brush marks to try and connect again. And then with the monkeys around it, it's as if they've kind of taken ownership. So one of them's playing with a chess piece, one of them's quite quietly grooming its child in the corner, and there's a baby just wanting to like interact as well. So there's lots of different things going on. And then another two pieces, I think we mentioned in one of our previous Zooms over lockdown, I found it quite difficult to do anything particularly raw, which my work normally is, because there was so much of that on the news at the time. So as my daughters were being tutored in, they were both schooling from home. They were forced into being my life models, I'm afraid. So one of them is one of the sculptures in the show as well is based on thought emerging in the painting, and I used Carmen, my youngest daughter, as the model, and the base of the piece is the painting, and then it's as if she's walked out of it with some of the painting, like the butterflies and the foliage going up the gown, trying to give a narrative to the piece. And then the other piece is based on Helen of Troy, and it's her epic journey through the waves with the she's the face that launched 1,000 ships, so there's lots of ships, and coral and stuff becomes her dress. So, and that's also an inspiration from the pre-Raphaelite painting in the Walker as well. So there's a few different things going on, but it was really enjoyable. And Nicola was fantastic to work with, and yourself and Colin. So the plinths for Jacob's food dogs are how the Blue Coat, the Walker, and the Williamson are all connected, and I've sort of Jacob threw the like totems, and then I etched into them drawings and text about all three galleries, which is so special to the Northwest. We're so fortunate to have such diverse but key galleries on our doorstep, really. So that's the full kind of.
Oh, thank you. I think what's so lovely, Emma, about your response and is that you've got all those, as you say, quite personal references. So Carmen, your youngest daughter, was your muse for the figurative piece.
Reluctant muse, I think.
And then, you know, all those lovely references that you've mentioned from the Walker and things that you've looked at since you were a child that have now kind of fed into pieces that, you know, have resulted in this, you know, very special display. I think, as you say, very special also because of the time in which it was made. And also, I spoke to Jacob about this lovely sort of relationship that I know you've had with him for quite a while, where you've mentored and really sort of nurtured his you know, his sort of working in clay since before he went to university. And he spoke really beautifully of how important that that kind of mentoring it has been to him, really, in kind of then making him want to go and study. And so I think that's a lovely kind of outcome too, isn't it? That the work that's in the cabinet has this lovely, you know, all these lovely personal references.
Yeah, so yeah, it's a lovely friendship I have with Jacob, and it's been great to watch him grow and develop as an artist. And I think his work's just getting stronger every day when I see it. So yeah, it's been nice to watch his journey, really.
Yeah,
and to
absolutely.
be involved with and you know that we're connected now as well on the exhibition. It's quite a nice sort of circle the way it's come around.
I think what's exciting about the way Nicola's curated the displays is that obviously it features pieces that are in their own collection, and as you mentioned, you have a lovely mother and child ceramic piece that's in the collection, and also you mentioned Julia's work, and people might not know, but Julia Carter Preston was a really well-known, very established potter that had a studio just next door to the display centre here in the Blue Cove for many years, and worked at a particular technique called sgraffito, incredibly kind of detail sort of scraping away of the top surface of the glaze to reveal very intricate patterns, and she used beautiful luster glazes and was really you know, a master of that particular very time-consuming technique. And I think, having seen a small glimpse of your Lost Temple theme display, I think the way all the work you know, complements each other and works so beautifully for three. I mean, obviously, unfortunately, Julia died some years ago, but had worked for decades, and you're at this kind of very strong mid-career, I guess. And then Jacob, who is an emerging maker, although, you know, his career, as you say, is going incredibly well. I think all those different stages of being a maker, you know, really bring something wonderful to that cabinet display.
It's a good dynamic, I think, of us all. And Julia's work, because of those lusters and the fine detail, they almost like jewels twinkling in the temple. And because I mean, Nicola was fantastic to work with, very open to ideas and just taking them, and we just ran with it, really. So Jacob's done a response with some of the tiles. So we had the tiles almost if the tiles that like you'd almost like brushed back and spotted them in a temple that had been discovered. That's the sort of feel we were after. But they glisten like jewels in the light. Her work, it's really beautiful.
Yeah, I can't wait, and I really yeah, I urge everyone to go and see it. It's in the yours and Jacob's and Julia's display is in the Craft and Design Gallery in the Walker, but there's another cabinet in immediately opposite that features the work of Hugh Miller's furniture, Attila
and
Halima, and I saw some wonderful images of Claire Canine installing her work.
It looks beautiful, doesn't it? Really beautiful.
So it's just fantastic that craft and you know, our kind of makers from across the region have invaded the Walker Art Gallery. So it'll be nice that visitors can just discover all these pieces, you know, across the gallery in temporary exhibitions. And your show, Emma, runs until the end of March next year, doesn't it?
I think so, yes. So
so there's plenty of time, and we're hoping
time to go and visit.
Yeah, and we're hoping maybe we can have some, you know, when kind of restrictions allow, we can have some actual events around it. So hopefully real life conversations with you and Jacob and some of the other makers that are featured across the Walker in the Celebrating Craft displays for the Year of Craft, which is marking the 50th anniversary of the Crafts Council. So thanks so much, Emma, for taking time.
Thanks for asking me.
I know you've got lots going on at the moment, as always.
It's fine. Thanks so much for asking me. It's been a pleasure.
And I should also say that if people are desperate to buy a piece of your work after seeing it in those displays, that the Display Centre all through this year are going to be featuring regularly all the makers that are represented in those temporary displays at the Walker. The work, of course, here will be available for sale, and also we're having that really exciting show with you and Halima from the autumn here.
It's fantastic that's actually happening, isn't it? Because we've known each other for so long. We've known each other since we were graduates. We did the same shows together from then, so it's nice that we finally sort of
absolutely, and two amazingly creative, talented Northwest women showing together in the Display Centre. We're so proud to be able to host that. So there's that to look forward to as well, and we'll catch up soon, but thanks again so much, and congratulations on such an amazing display.
Oh, thank you.
It's really wonderful.
It was a pleasure to be part of, so thanks for all your help with everything, Sam.
Oh, you're welcome. See you soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.